Hey Dad, how do you keep a worm farm healthy?
Awesome question, Karen. And I'm going to show you right inside a very productive worm farm here and how I'm keeping this healthy, and two other worm farms, an above ground and an underground worm farm. We're going to discuss all three. But first, let's have a look inside this one, shall we? Now, there's quite a lot going on in here. Nice big papaya. And they're hooking into that. And they're inside a type of bedding that I use. Now, if you come around here, Karen, you can have a look at this bedding that I use. This is a coconut and wood pulp fibre, but just coconut's good enough. And then I have a little bit of dolomite here, which I sprinkle on. So come around here, and I'll show you. So this is to slow down the acidity, and it provides a bit of calcium also. Now, you can get this all around the place at really cool, anywhere that sell fertilisers and things like that. Just ask for dolomite, or they have it like worm conditioner in the shops where they sell all worm farms and stuff like that. Basically what it is dolomite. And it's got a few different minerals in it as well, so it's really good for gardening. And it doesn't hurt the worms, not one little bit. Now, you can see I've got these little cups on here. These are egg cups. Now, these slowly release the water into there, so if there's any impurities in there, and they'll hide underneath there and get that moisture as it's coming through, and then slowly consume this. So sometimes I have this hole covered in egg cups as well as it goes down, but I'm overfeeding this at the moment for a reason. And the main reason is because I'm not taking care of this worm farm as much. But you really, unless you're got really used to worm farming, you don't want to overfeed it as much as what I have done here. It's generally can be classed as a mistake if you haven't been worm farming for a very long time, because things can get really funky and smelly, and you can attract different bugs and stuff. So you really want to let the food sort of disappear and then feed again, and the food nearly disappear and feed again. Now, one of the other tips and tricks, how do I say that? Tips and tricks?
Tips and tricks.
So Karen, you had a question for me actually.
Yeah, what's the benefits of having a worm farm?
Okay, so before we look at the next tier down, let's talk about the benefits. I'm going to close this up because they like to stay dark. Now, the benefits of having a worm farm is you get your own compost, and it's a cold composting system, and you get to actually compost on site. Keep all your kitchen scraps in here, everything except, like your dairies and meats can go in here. Avoid citrus and stuff, not too much of that, and onion. Don't like that so much because it just takes a long time to break down. But you can then turn it into beautiful fertiliser like we've got here. Now, some people would say this is a leachate, but it's actually not a leachate. It's just a drench, and you can see the colour, and you can pour that onto your plants. Doesn't hurt your plants at all. But one of the tricks is when you're harvesting, so one of the benefits, if we look in here, and I'll get to this in a minute, this is really heavy. We'll see if we can lift this up. Let's get round to this part. Oh, get in there, Karen. See worm castings? Spider. Look at that. When you sort of it looks like putty when it's ready to go. Now, the reason is it's winter here, and I'm leaving that down below because in the hot times and the very cool times, they will go down, especially more in the really hot times. And so I'm going to harvest that shortly in a little while. We've got lots of it, and you use around about 10%. Awesome on seedlings. So I've got spring coming up in a while, and I'm in no rush because I don't need the seedlings yet. So they go down there and they touch their skin on it and pick up the extra microbes and things again. And I really believe it keeps them healthy. It's a bit like having, honey in a beehive. When you take too much of the honey away, it affects them. But keep in mind, we are doing it for this and for the liquid. Now, one of my top tricks is when you're cleaning the worm farm out, make sure you leave a bit of castings in there so you keep the biology. Now, my second top trick is don't always use all this liquid drench. Pour it back through. Pour it back through the worm farm a few times before you use it till it gets nice and dark. Now, why I'm calling it a liquid drench is, guess what? It's going to go down through this material, through these castings here that I just shown you, and then into the bucket, and then I'll be able to pour that onto the garden. Now, keep it in a nice, cool spot. Doesn't like to be in the heat unless you're in a cold area. You want to put it in the sun and warm it up. 24, 70 degrees is sort of the max. You can see the liquid coming through there, Karen?
Yeah.
That stuff is just the best for plants, man. I'm telling you, it's one of the best fertilizers around, especially when you get it to like this. And I've got a system called the Taj Mahal system. You can check that out on my channel. And that's exactly designed for getting this type of liquid drench. A free fertilizer coming just from your garden. And guess what? These worms can make you money as well if you want to sell them or give them away as friends. Now we're going to move really fast down to the next worm farm. I'm going to show you an above ground system. So you ready to go, Karen?
Yeah.
Big steps, right? So the camera doesn't get too shaky. 1, 2, 3, go. Let's go. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Woo! Here they are. 3 big worm farms. Step back a bit, Karen. We'll get a good long shot. There's actually 4 now because I added 1 more. Now this guy, come and have a look. I've got him open because it's raining. And I've made a video especially on these, so you can check that out. Look at that, I've got a big pumpkin in there where the rat was eating it. And see the worms down below? They're getting ready to eat this pumpkin, so we'll turn it upside down like that. That dirty rat that ate our pumpkin, how naughty is he? Now, the idea is you fill them up with spent compost, so nearly done compost, finished. Mushroom compost is really good. And then you keep backfilling it over time until eventually it gets to the top. Let it sit for about 3 months, just feeding it kitchen scraps and newspaper, cardboard, all that cool stuff. Leave it open for the rain. Connect them up if you're going to do a lot of them so they're close together. And then in real cold times and things like that, you can put the lids on and stuff. At the moment it's raining, so that's how you keep them healthy. Just keep feeding from the top. I mean, you put them around near your garden and stuff too, because it's also a self-fertilizing machine. Worms are coming up, earthworms coming up and in, tilling the ground underneath. And then when I harvest this, it goes on to my bale gardens and into my big back garden beds. Right, let's move to the next worm farm, an underground one. I'll show you what's going on there. Right, let's go, Karen, come with me. Come on, come on. I'm gonna go right around, right around, right around. You're gonna stand right there. And I'm gonna come around into here, next to our giant eggplant here. And you might be going, well, Marty, there's not much going on in there. Well, guess what? There is actually quite a few worms in there. It's been open, open to the rain. But look, 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 you can see them all. Look at that. That's all fertilizer for these plants. I'll crush that egg up a bit. They're all baby ones. Look at that, I've disturbed them. They don't like me because I'm going to put a new bedding over that. And so I'm going to use that cocoa fiber that I've shown you before. Now, what happens is, if you can see down here, can we see down in there? Or we need to get around the back maybe. Come around the back and see if you can see some holes in the back of the worm farm here, Karen. Can you see holes in the back of the worm farm?
Yeah, there's holes. Are those
There's
air
holes
pockets? Are those air pockets?
Yeah, so what happens is underneath, so down here, like this is the airflow, and under here, these holes, this is where the worms get in and out, and also where the roots hang around for the plants to get fed and feed the plants. It's a cold composting system. And as the worms move in and out of here, they're laying their castings, they're tilling the soil. Now the castings are extremely fertile, and you basically don't need to put any fertilizer into your garden. Now you can make DIY ones out of this. You just need to have an open bottom. This one has a closed bottom, and I don't like that. Open bottom, lots of holes for them to get through, and then just keep a lid on it and feed it full of organic matter from out of your kitchen. Oh man, I'm a bit tired after that. And then just keep it nice and moist, and the worms will move in and out. And if you find them anywhere else in your other worm farms, like the one that I shown you at the beginning, when that's getting like too many worms in it and it's overflowing with worms, you put them into your underground system. So it's really good. That's why I have the 3 systems. I've got the one for breeding and making the liquid fertilizer. I've got the second one, which repairs the soil, which the big one I just shown you a minute ago, the big black one, repairs the soil, fertilizes the ground, tills the ground, and makes compost for me. And the third one here, the underground worm farm, which is self-perpetuating and grows plants around. And this guy's going to move very soon, so we're going to move this into a new spot. But that'll be coming up in a future video. All right, so stand up, Karen. How long did we go in that video?
9 minutes.
Wow, 9 minutes. Look, I'll show you the rain. I've emptied that. That's the second time I've emptied that. So that's around about, that says 1 inch there. So 25 mil. And you can see, so we've had around about 40 mil go into these worm farms since I've had it open. Anyway, Whew, gotta catch my breath. Are you ready to say goodbye, Karen?
Yeah, goodbye, Karen.
Are we gonna do flexi hand?
Yeah.
Do we do flexi hand again?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, here it comes. Any questions, leave them below. Bye for now.